Hello. So, in today's class, I will be talking about a concept known as limiting factors. So, what does one mean by limiting factors? So, the availability of matter and energy resources can limit the number of organisms in a population. So, because of the depending upon the availability of matter or energy like sunlight and other energies, so food, uh, this limits the number of organisms present in a population. So more amount of resources, more the population. Less resources, less population. Uh, this is the concept. So the limiting factor are components of matter and energy resources. So the on this basis of one can say that too little or too much of a particular factor or component of an abiotic factor too much or too little, they limit the population. They limit the population. So each organism for its growth, they require a minimum amount of a component, minimum amount of component, and that of a particular component, and that component is the limiting factor. For example, in a pond, the limiting factor is CO2. This CO2, amount of CO2 present inside a pond, this controls the growth of organisms in the pond, because this CO2, in the presence of sunlight, of course, they is required for photosynthesis to produce starch by the phytoplanktons present, and that is eaten by the zooplanktons, and that zooplanktons are eaten by smaller fishes, and for this for growth of organism therefore depends on CO2. If there is CO2 is the factor which is restrictive. For example, in a coral reef one can see that the symbiotic organism Zooxanthellae, it resides near these corals because the corals release CO2, and this CO2, which is a limiting factor in the water or in the pond, in the lake, seas, this is produced in abundance by this coral, and this CO2 is very much essential for the synthesis of, with light of course, for the synthesis of glucose, and through the process of photosynthesis, and this glucose, this is utilized by the corals, so there's a symbiotic relationship takes place. So one can always appreciate that CO2 is the limiting factor. the limiting factor. That this is, so we are talking about the minimum amount of a component needed for organisms to grow. So this component limits the growth of organisms. This philosophy is highlighted in the law, Liebig's law of minimum. This is actually the modified version of Liebig's law of minimum. Originally, Liebig, he studied the growth of plants and also studied the various factors which influence the growth of plants. Studied the minimum factors which influence the growth of plants, and from this especially he studied the relation with respect to supply of CO2 to plants, and he gave the statement that growth of a plant is dependent on the amount of foodstuff which is presented to it in minimum quantity. So in this aspect, a minimum amount of CO2 is essentially, if you remember the example of the pond, a minimum amount of CO2 is needed for growth of plants. So then this CO2 becomes the limiting factor. And now we are going to the next concept, which is the Shelford's law of tolerance. Liebig's law dealt with the minimum which is required, so it is too little. Shelford deals with too much. Every organism has got a range of tolerance of a particular condition or abiotic factor. For example, organisms grow, a particular organism can grow up to this concentration of highest amount of salt to the lowest amount of salt. It can grow into this amount, it can grow in between, or this amount of heat into that amount of heat, from low temperature to higher temperature. And so this law states that the existence abundance and distribution of a species in an ecosystem are determined by whether the levels of one or more physical or chemical factors fall within the range tolerated by the species. So it should be able to survive in a particular range. Let us consider the case in the case of temperature. What happens? So this side, let us represent temperature, and this side activity or growth. So there are organisms which tolerate a broad range of temperature, organisms which tolerate a broad range of temperature from minimum to maximum, and they are known as eurythermal. They are known as eurythermal. So they have the broad range of temperature they can say, and there are organisms which cannot tolerate that range of temperature. So they have got a minimum and maximum. This is the range of tolerance, and this is on the lower side. This is stenothermal. Even on the higher side, they have got a range. They have got a minimum range where they can exist only up to this amount of time they can grow. Their growth rate is maximum, optimum at this point, at this temperature it is maximum. Their activity or growth you can find. So this is, and this they have got a maximum also. This is also stenothermal. So the term URI means broad or wide, and steno means narrow. Similarly, this is for temperature. You call it stenothermal, eurythermal. If it is salt or haline, if it's instead of temperature you write salt concentration, you can call them as stenohaline or euryhaline, if the abiotic factor range which you tolerate. So this is the Shelford's law of tolerance. So this is the first part of limiting factors.